Will Harley Davidson survive the next decade? That's what we hear all the time, isn't it? Will they survive, or are they gonna go under? I tell you what, it's looking more and more likely that Harley Davidson ain't gonna do so good. And I know you're gonna throw up the Q4 earnings from 2022. Oh, it was up! Everything's going all kinds of good for them. I don't think so. I don't think so. The CEO a couple weeks ago said that Harley Davidson, in the future, if you will, I'm not going to give a time period, is positioning itself to go full electric. Well, that might work. It might work because, let's be honest, I'll probably not be here. Or anybody who has that thrill for a gasoline engine. But their business practices are out of whack here. It's funny, I did a video called Harley Davidson Tricks and Scams, okay? And boy, did that set off some salesmen that worked for Harley Davidson. They couldn't stand that I was just giving the basics to all my listeners. Well, I found out, and he did a great video on this. His name is Steve Freeman. Please go over and check out his video. He was going to go over their film, and they knew about it, but they didn't want the dealer markup shown to anyone. Then to come find out, that same dealership banned him. Can you believe that? Banned him because he was giving education to all of you. That's how much Harley Davidson has gone downhill. Why be afraid of your dealer markup? Why be afraid to show it? Because you know why. Because it's ridiculous that you're marking up these stuff. And that is why all these salesmen were furious with me when I did my last video. Like he said, all we were doing is pulling the curtain and showing you the wizard. And they can't stand that. Harley never could, especially when these bigger corporations started taking over the little guy. A lot of people don't understand that. Most dealerships are owned by corporations, and I'm talking big ones or investment groups now. It's no longer mom and pop out there. Hell, you just see the requirements that Harley Davidson puts on these dealerships. But I found it fascinating what they did to him. I was like, man, at least I ain't the only one that's hated on YouTube because I'm talking about Harley. Somebody else is now. They get upset when you let everybody know what's going on. So there's that. The dealership, they thumb their nose at you. Oh, you don't like our price? Well, I don't want you negotiating it. Oh, we're Harley Davidson. We don't need to negotiate. Besides, we want you to finance so we can get a cut in our pocket too. These are the kind of dealership practices that I've seen dealerships go out of business for. 30 Minutes, Border Tracker. They were in such disarray that Harley pulled their stuff. And this was one of the deals that they were doing, was marking up the price over the suggested so much that people got sick of it. And then they had the attitudes of Harley Davidson is God. And let's just say Harley Davidson isn't God. And before you idiots go out there, because I had some of them, well, you need to make more money. That's why you're mad at Harley, because you don't make enough money to get one. I got two. And before that, I had more. And before that, I had more. It's every 2 years that I go buy one. And I do it on my company. That way, I get the tax benefits, but you salesmen wouldn't understand that kind of stuff, would you? But there are a couple of other things that I found very interesting from some of the comments. Like, their principal customers are getting too old to ride or are dying off. Now, I got to come to Harley's rescue on that one. Their age range is usually 35 to about 60. We get it. We're old. Yes, we're going to get out of the scene soon. But it's the same demographics taken over by somebody else. So that's something I don't buy. I don't buy that argument whatsoever. Another one that they put, a new customer base they aspire to reach, which they are, the millennials. They are trying, really trying. But I have to agree with this. By and large, don't care for motorcycles in general and hate Harley Davidson in particular. Well, Harley Davidson, you really threw the boat on that one. You might have 50% of the large motorcycle market. Big bike market. We're talking baggers, all that good stuff. But when it comes to the 750cc and under, you guys are getting your butt whooped like a redheaded stepchild out in the shed. You guys can't compete against the motorcycles that millennials, if they do like motorcycles, they don't want your stuff. They want that. Because they actually look at it as a form of transportation. They don't look at it as a lifestyle or a culture. They got different thinking than when I was their age. Or when somebody my age or younger back then. They don't care about you, Harley. They don't care about your bars and shields. They don't care that you claim to be a premium brand. They're revolting against you. The product line the company introduced to reach the few members of the aforementioned customer base who might be interested are not competitive for the number of reasons, not the least of which is the high price. We always hear about that, the high price, and they're dead on when it comes to pricing with you guys. And indifferent build quality. Now, the build quality has been getting good. You're a little behind on the technology. Come on, get some good lines with air or liquid cooled, you know, that argument. But the ones that he does mention is the live wire. They rather go to Zero, who has a way better electric motorcycle than the live wire. But you overprice it because you think you're a premium brand. But at the same time, cry and whine that you can't reach these millennials. Now Generation Z. The XG models are overpriced crap, and the Pan America is a little too late. Should have started changing earlier, basically, from the comment I'm reading here. And finally, which got him banned for trying to show you, the high overhead costs imposed by Harley Davidson on dealers in order to keep their franchises, such as buildings and merchandising. Since Harley Davidson thinks it is a premier brand, everything dealership-wise has to be premier too. That's the 60,000 square foot buildings and whatever else that they want. They want them things like Disneyland. The thing about Harley is they got to get rid of that thinking. Different generations now. We're not buying into your stuff. We're not buying into Harley Davidson is the best motorcycle around. When you get a certain age, you got to have one. You only have to have two wheels. And there's a lot of other companies out there that have a way better product line than Harley Davidson has. And a lot of people are going to say, well, why in the last couple videos have you been bashing Harley? You know what? When you give an opinion that you're hoping will change something for the better, that hundreds of thousands of people have been saying, that ain't bashing them. especially when it comes to the pricing. But then you have these people that go out there that really judge a book by their cover, saying, well, maybe you need to save up and afford a Harley Davidson. Okay, you remind me of one of them people that go out and buy one and let it sit in a garage for 2 years, and some schluck like me comes by after the depreciation hit you, and I get it really cheap off of you. I think we're the smart ones, don't you? You put a couple thousand miles on, we come in, swoop that thing up next to nothing. Who's the stupid ones? Who's the idiots? But after I seen that one video, I was like, yep, that and that 120th with Green Day. Oh my gosh. You guys a bunch of schlucks over at Harley Davidson, man. I know, we're supposed to support the bike, not the company. You can't do that anymore. Because now they're just doing it on purpose. They're being stupid on purpose. And I hate to tell Harley Davidson, the price range that you're trying to get, the people that you're trying to get to buy your motorcycle, are the ones actually competing against you. And you're going to probably say, why are they competing against us? Well, like I mentioned earlier, they'll go buy your CVO. They'll pay top dollar for that sucker. Then in a couple years, they resell it to people like me on the used market, which kills your new market, your new sales market. So you're the ones that are actually hurting yourselves. You're competing against yourselves. And that's what happens when you get away from your core customers, which are blue-collar workers. Now, I'm sure those that are on YouTube with their dealership channels or their little salesmen are going to go around banging on people like Steve, the one who got banned, or me, or some other ones. But you know you're lying. You don't have to be so smooching on Harley Davidson's Wong. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Do you think Harley Davidson's going to make it in a decade? Let me know. Or what changes they need to do.
I say goodbye, vamoose, adios, ciao, so long, get your hat jack.
#1 internet biker radio show is now available on Spotify and all major platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, and more. Don't forget to become a subscriber on any one of these platforms so you can be notified right away when our weekly episode is uploaded so you never miss an episode.